Hi, everyone. How are you? Welcome to episode 13 of Some Random, featuring your lovely, your beautiful, your very tired host, SrirachaFlash. With me today is the wonderful, the lovable Overhaul 89, a member of the Minnesota FGC. You've probably seen him all over Twitter, also known as Brian, which is much simpler. But we're going to keep going back and forth between Overhaul and Brian, so get used to that. But anyway, that's not up to myself to introduce the man. That is up to Overhaul to introduce the man. Overhaul, hi, how's it going? How are you, man?
I am doing okay. We like maybe 30 seconds before this started, just heard the news about Antonio Brown being signed by the Patriots, which people joked about. Like there was this great tweet about like Bill Belichick walking out to like the Stone Cold music, seeing like he's gonna just trade like a 7 to Oakland and just pick up Antonio Brown. No, he'll just sign him. It's cool.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
I can absolutely believe it.
But the best part about this is like the Steelers traded Antonio Brown to the Raiders, and all the Steelers fans are sitting there going, "Ooh, we got rid of him. We got so much, blah blah blah." Then they saw all this drama happening.
I seem to remember they kind of got made fun of because they trade away a guy who was averaged like 1,600 yards, per season the last couple for like mid-round picks. Not unlike say a former number 1 overall defensive end, but that's we can talk about that later.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a wee bit different, but yeah, no, I understand. We'll get there too. But no, recently they've been like, we won that deal. At the time the trade was like considered like what the hell, right? But since then they've been like, we won the deal because obviously Antonio Brown's been such a headache, and I've seen Steelers Twitter and y'all have been obnoxious, just obnoxious lately. And now they have to deal with Antonio Brown and the Patriots, which means if the Steelers meet the Patriots in the playoffs and Antonio Brown scores a touchdown, I think Mike Tomlin might get run out of town.
I mean, I think there were two ways for this to have ended the most cynically. One is he goes to the Patriots, which is kind of like, yeah, you could see that. It was all the last couple of years, because they've picked up Josh Gordon, they picked up Chad Ochocinco for a while. Not to say that only diva wide receivers go to the Patriots, but just what's his name, Randy Moss.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're the island of retread receivers, because every receiver on the back end of his career goes to the Patriots.
Players who were talented but maybe had more personality would go there and do okay, or not like that stuff. That stuff would seemingly go away. Who knows?
Such a nice way to put it, Brian.
The other is like if he went back to Pittsburgh, just goes back to the Steelers. So I found it. Yeah, Oakland had traded a 3rd-round draft pick and a 5th-round pick for Antonio Brown.
Okay. So
not the well, they lost that. I've seen weirder things, but who knows? It kind of caps off what's been a very strange lead up to the NFL season. You had everything with Houston go on a week ago, and I covered that in my podcast, Pressing Heavy Buttons, where just talked about how weird it was that Clowney just kind of got let go for that little.
Right. For a 3rd rounder that might get better if they win the Super Bowl.
You got traded for a 3rd rounder to like a journeyman outside linebacker and like a promising 6th rounder from the previous year. Mm-hmm. So who knows?
And they're both splitting his salary for the year.
Yeah, I guess that's just more of like maybe there's some contractual thing that makes them have to do that.
But
it's weird, especially when you consider Clowney could have just played under the tag, and then they would have gone a 3rd when he inevitably walked in free agency. Maybe they think we get a better pick now just by letting him walk, and then if there's any sort of like emotional turmoil going on, they get to avoid that. That's me as a Houston fan, maybe trying to rationalize it, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to do that as a fan, right? You can't like look at the bad side of it and like doom and gloom like before week 1.
It's like the fandom self-defense system. You have to like protect yourself.
Oh, listen, I went through the same thing when Clay Matthews went out to the Rams.
That's right, yeah.
But I did the exact opposite. I went, good, get his raggedy ass out of Green Bay. He hasn't made an impactful play in 3 years. That fucking golden boy son of a bitch, always moving his hair around. He lost us 3 games last year. I don't want to hear a fucking thing from him. See, so I go to the opposite side.
It's always rough when, like, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen when JJ finally starts to slow down, but I guess we'll see.
I don't think JJ is ever gonna slow down. Those whatever Mexican supplements they're pumping him full of, he looks healthier than ever every year. It's stupid.
Well, here let's talk a little more about football because I found like the perfect segue to move from that to something else. But I want to save it. I know like the round ender here.
That's all right.
No, so there's that. Packers and Bears played Thursday. I'm sure you're happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, have you heard the jokes about the coach's name is LaFleur because that's basically how low the score is going to be this season for the Packers?
I have not heard that joke. Although I'm sure if I would have scoured the 3rd grade playgrounds, I would have heard it a couple times.
Jeez.
Listen, don't fucking come for my neck, goddammit, Brian. I'm quicker than anyone that you've ever talked to before. I've got my comebacks. You ain't never met somebody like me.
Like, we're about to start the podcast. You're trying to come at me with like the expansion draft, Houston's. I'm like, I wasn't even a fan during that time. Maybe I should give that story, and that will be like So, the long story short is, I actually grew up in. I'm just gonna say New Orleans. Technically, it was like this. It was like a super white suburb, like a super white flight area of New Orleans called Mandeville on the North Shore. But I grew up in southern Louisiana, and Saints were kind of like the big team, but of course they were awful for a long time. And as a result, I didn't really care much about football because it was like, well, our team is bad, so who cares? And
looks like I've got more horsepower.
Nice. Oh, thanks, Pierce.
Thanks for the follow, Pierce. Much appreciated, my dude.
And then in 2006, when Katrina happened and the Saints had like a good season, it was like, okay, they're decent, but they still lost to the Bears, so it's like, oh, who cares? And when they finally won, with like the 13 game like winning streak, I was like, okay, maybe football's cool when you win, but I was afraid of like, oh, of course the Saints just won. Now I'm going to be like the biggest fan despite living here and like not caring for the longest time. So I said, you know what? Let me investigate football a bit more. I had read like iShield 21. LSU had like a good season, so I was like, okay, let's look into this. And I actually had looked at teams like the Steelers, like the Packers, but just thought there's too much history there. I don't want to just hop in. Though I'm sure you would like that.
Listen, I'm always accepting new fans with open arms. No worries.
But what got me was I was watching Houston play their opening game the next season, 2010. They were like a super young team, like not even 10 years old at this point. And they had some cool players. They had Andre Johnson, Matt Schaub, Bowling Ball of Butcher Knives, Vontae Leach before he joined the Ravens. And they opened in these like the awesome like pearly white uniforms, the Liberty Whites.
Okay. And
they had this second-year UDFA, the name of Arian Foster playing, who ran for like 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, they destroyed the Colts. And from that moment on, I was a fan through thick and thin, and even this last offseason. Oof.
Yeah, it's been rough. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Hard Knocks offseason year, but it's been something.
Even that wasn't so bad because, like, okay, we got Clowney, we got all this stuff. The issue this last season has just been, all free agency. We're like, just get a left tackle, just fix this offensive line. That's all we need. If we have an okay offensive line, like the 18th best, suddenly we could have like a top 10 offense. The GM didn't really do anything. We got outbid for Andre Dillard by like a 6th round pick or something by Philly.
Oof.
In the draft. Grabbed a talented but super raw guy in Titus Howard, who is now looking to play left guard, which is that's not uncommon to see with rookie offensive linemen.
Right, they usually get shuffled around the line quite a bit.
Yeah, so it's like that'll make sense, but still kind of like we could just fix the problem. and it's like Clowney is still not being extended, and it's like we have all this money. granted, and I'll talk about this later, like, should we spend that much money? And it's like, nothing is happening.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, Brian Gaine gets fired, and they go after Caserio in New England, and that kind of whole thing was like, oh, that ended up not happening. they called it off, and now they're just kind of without a GM for like a whole season, and they're going to make another shot when he's free in a year.
Dude.
Now, granted, that position is probably going to look a lot more desirable because now, we don't have Clowney. I'm going to say, right, I'm going to qualify this by saying, one, Clowney should absolutely get as much money as he can as a player. I super support players and trying to get, what they are owed, what they deserve.
Right.
But we don't have to pay him. We now have a left tackle to pay, and we now have money to pay a quarterback in a year or two. We're not gonna have to pay 2 defensive linemen like $100 million plus contracts.
What's wrong with Deshaun Watson?
No, nothing.
Okay.
I'm saying in a year or two when his rookie contract is
okay. I thought you were like, we're gonna kick his ass to the curb. Okay, no, just double checking. All right.
No. Say Deshaun. No, that was the thing with Clowney where it's like, Clowney is good. Clowney, if you don't know, or like, oh, Khalil Mack has more sacks, yeah, but Clowney has more total pressures than Mack has had over the same period of time. Which is not to say one is better, just to say that they're both very good. Like, they're both like up there comparable, which made the trade all the more bewildering.
Nah, anyway. Fuck that, Brian. Come out and say it. Say JJ Watt's better. Fucking support your team. Don't hold back. Look, I'll come out right now and I'll say Marquez Valdez-Scantling's a better route runner than Antonio Brown. I'll say it right now.
If you ever watch football with me, you're gonna be more mad at me than the opposing team because I'm the guy that's like, no, that was a good tackle. No, that wasn't pass interference. You can see he doesn't hold on to the arm.
Nah, I'm terrible. I'm looking up their personal histories, and I'm like, yeah, the Ravens lost because Dante Stallworth killed a person while he was under the influence. Of course he did. Fuck the Ravens. That's me. I'm awful.
But no, like, so now it feels like the future of the team is more manageable. We have a franchise left tackle and a franchise quarterback for him to protect. We have a shit ton. Sorry, I don't know if we can curse too much here.
Yeah,
we have a ton.
It's me. The fuck?
Watch your fucking mouth. No.
Wow.
We have I'll say it. We have the best wide receiver in the league. We have DeAndre Hopkins.
Wow.
Who is like the anti-diva at this point compared to Antonio. We have a fragile but extremely speedy Will Fuller. We have Kiki Kuti, who flashed like really good talent last year, but was dealing with injuries all year, so he was kind of off and on. We have Kenny Stills from the Dolphins, who is like a slightly poorer man's version of Will Fuller, but more healthy generally. Okay. So it's like if any of them have to like sit out for a couple games, like he's there. And DeAndre Carter, who he's shown some stuff. I won't say he's like a top 50 wide receiver, but
a top 50 wide receiver. Look,
even that's probably pushing. He's maybe like not even top 100, but whatever. He's fine.
Listen, I just want to see how far I can talk you off of your biases, like, because you're like, it's kind of all right. I just want to see how far I can push till you're like, look, all right, you shouldn't be on the team, fucking practice squad, but it is what it is. We're dealing with it.
No, if Matt Khalil was still on this team, I would be like, get this guy out of here now. Which is kind of funny in retrospect because it feels like O'Brien knew that the whole time. He's just talking shit to the media and goes, yeah, we're just going to trade for a top 5 left tackle. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, fucking NBD.
But if you want, let's segue to. I want to find this amazing. Oh God, let me close this. I was looking for a picture of this. So I was going to start talking about Tekken, and the best way to segue going from football to Tekken is talking about a guy called what's his name, Bo Montana. Are you familiar with this person?
With Bo Montana.
Bo Montana. I'm going to link you this in Discord right now.
That's not a person.
It's not. It's a character for Tekken's mobile game that came out, and it's like they took Alex from Street Fighter and JJ Watt and like mashed him into a character. I don't know if you can see this right now. But...
yes, I certainly can. Give me 1 second. I'll put that shit on screen. That's hilarious.
It's just like he's like the number is slightly different, but he has like the white. He has like the red jersey with the blue lines, like the Bow Red jerseys that Houston has, He's just like the same build and everything.
It says fucking Semper Fi on his jersey.
Oh yeah, because he's
oh
he's a former vet too.
I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna vomit.
So and here's the thing too is one of his moves might as well be Alex's crouching heavy punch, like the shoulder check. It's like, why is this character, you know?
Oh,
can he be the next character after Leroy Smith?
Honestly, they should stop right there, and they'll be set for like the rest of eternity. Look at this motherfucker on screen right now. I can't believe it.
It's just J.J. Watt as like a Tekken character. That's it.
Oh my god, that is awful. And like the logo for the football team is awful too. It's way too busy for like an actual football logo.
Well, this is like a Japanese character designer making this, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, this is honestly, this is J.J. Watt meets Alex from Street Fighter meets all the Mexican supplements that Khalil Mack is on. Jeez Louise, look at this guy. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Khalil Mack's on steroids. Fight me. I hate Khalil Mack because he plays for the Bears and didn't sign with the Packers for less. Otherwise, I'd be, talking all kinds of good things about him.
Well, we'll finish by saying this. Would you have wanted the Packers to trade all that to get him?
Yeah, I would. Are you kidding me? Our fucking defense is a sieve. I could run for 400 yards against our fucking defense. Well, last year. This year, we seem to be looking a little bit better.
Yeah, this year. I had to miss the game, but
it's all right. Listen, that fucking barn burner 10-3.
And I have Chicago friends, and they might be listening to this, but how did you guys draft that guy before Deshaun Watson? Or Mahomes.
That's true. You know what? Fuck your Chicago friends. Nah, I'm just kidding. Cola, I love you a lot. No, the rest of the Chicago scene treated me really well. So no, I'm just playing.
They're gonna beat me up in 2 weeks when I go there for a Red Bull.
Absolutely. Well, look, tell them. Well, you don't have to tell them. I'll clip this out. I'll clip it out. Chicago sucks. Their pizza's terrible. Cola, mediocre. Nah, I'm just kidding. I can't even say that shit out loud. I don't mean any of that. Fucking St. Cola's the best. Fucking Chicago's awesome. The pizza is still just okay. But
look, just talk shit about Malort, because one, you won't be wrong, and two, you'll piss them off.
Oh well, here's the thing though. I kind of like Malort.
What?
Like not even a joke. But it's because I drink bum wine like Mad Dog 2020 already. But like Malort ain't even that bad. Like y'all want to taste some nasty shit? Come up to Northern Michigan. Look, I will get you some nasty booze.
I tried some at Combo Breaker this year, and it's like, yeah, it was bitter. It was not that it wouldn't go away. It was just kind of like, okay, it's been like 30 seconds. You can leave now. No, okay. But I was just, I just wanted you to talk about Bo for a second to be like, put him in Tekken Season 3, which, speaking of which, comes out the 10th, I believe, this Tuesday.
Okay. Man, is it that soon already? Holy shit.
Yeah, no, because people were saying that last year it was September 4th that it came out, Season 2, so it seems consistent. Not as many characters this time, though who knows, they could always announce a ton of stuff out of nowhere.
Right. We're getting, what, Zafirina, Leroy...
Zafina, Leroy,
Zafina.
I think it's weird, because they have the panels for, incoming character, but instead it says, stage or feature. Are they gonna put Tekken Ball back in the game?
Ooh, that would get me back into Tekken. Fucking catch me top 8 Tekken Ball, the Combo Breaker 2020. Best believe.
You ever watch a top 8 for Tekken 3 Tekken Ball?
No, is that a thing?
Yeah, I think they had it at Frosty's. I want to say, or if not Frosty's, Michigan Masters.
If it was at Michigan Masters, I would know about it. Here, you me.
It was probably Frosty's then. No, there was a guy who won using True Ogre. Who is apparently top tier at Tekken Ball.
What the hell? Well, listen, this is news to me. I'm going to try to hop on Parsec and play some Tekken Ball later. That's the shit right there. I can't believe... This is the worst part about doing a podcast in the middle of the day is I have these goddamn rednecks that live around me that decide that 5 in the fucking afternoon is when they want to ride their dirt bikes around. In our neighborhood. We live in a society, you jerks. Anyway... But look, we're fucking 21 minutes into the show. I haven't even got to the important part of the show. Fuck football and everything else. This show isn't about that. This show is about the man, the myth, the Alex. Sometimes Sagat, sometimes Overhaul is actually his character choice instead of his username. This is about you, Brian. So, Brian, who the hell are you? Why are you on my show?
I ask myself that question every day. No, I'm just an Alex player from Minnesota FGC, Twin Cities area. Started playing. I picked up Street Fighter 4 near the end of its lifetime, like 2 years into Ultra, but really got into Street Fighter 5 as like my first true like competitive game. Like I gave a shit, tried to get better from the start. I was living in Louisiana at the time, and then near the end of 2016, moved up to Minnesota, and was so lucky that there's like not only like a community up here, but like a really strong one too. Shouts to Marine, a regular who got sponsored by UIU last night, or announced it, I should say.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to her. That girl has worked her ass off the last couple of years, and it really shows.
It's weird. Like I got here, I didn't realize it's like, okay, there's Mojo who is on SFL. He has made like top 24 at Evo for Street Fighter 5. I think last year and the year before they made top 32. There's Marine. There's a lot of like Street Fighter 4 vets who were like big time players for a bit. Keats is from here. Rick Thier, the guy who runs Combo Breaker, is from here. He actually has moved back here from San Francisco. I would say it's a very underrated fighting game community. I'm actually really grateful that I get to live up here and play with these guys.
I can't believe you just named all those people and left Mike out of the equation. Mike too strong. You're just gonna ruin him like that.
He's like the fucking hidden boss of Minnesota FGC, because we actually didn't know he lived here for the longest. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go out to casuals," and he just shows up at Level Up Games, which is unfortunately closing this month. That's our main like casual place. He just shows up. It's like, wait, you're Mike? What? So like literally top 3 at our like monthlies is often Mojo, Mike, Marine. Sometimes a guy called Kangaroo, who he was like a elite player in Street Fighter 4. He plays Karine now. Very strong player. I think if he liked Street Fighter 5 more, he would be up there with Mojo, like crushing it.
Okay.
But those two often duel for like the king of Minnesota. No, just like a ton of strong players, to the point where I had a friend go like, "Man, no one here wants to get better." Where it's always the same people in top 8 or top 4. It's like those top 4 could probably be sponsored players, or have been sponsored players. Like, we're trying.
Yeah, very easily. Like, those dudes are on the cusp of like being sponsored, but they're great fucking players. Mike got top 8 at Frosty Faustings this year.
He beat Chris G.
Yeah, he beat Chris G in like one of the best matches, like in a Guile versus fucking Zangief matchup. 100%. That was excellent. Yeah. He's the number 1 ranked Zangief on CFN, which in and of itself is like a huge accomplishment.
More than that, he's like the number 5 or 6 player.
He's the 5th ranked player on CFN. Like,
and he, I don't know what like the schedule for someone like Trashbox or Shazzy is, but he literally just like he'll just come home from work, turn on Street Fighter 5, got his daughter on his lap, and his pad in his hands, and he just like grinds out like 30-game win streaks or something easy.
Yeah, like shout out to Mike and Penny. Those two put on the best streams.
And I would say too that Mike is also like one of like the nicest people you ever meet too. He is in person as he acts on his stream.
Yeah.
So
he is that. Well, I met him at Combo Breaker after Reddit sponsorship had sent him there. And
that's right, him and Dynamo.
Yep. And then I believe someone else. No. That the 3-person ones were for Evo. Yeah.
It was just those two at the time.
Yep. But yeah, I met Mike at Combo Breaker, and Mike is like the nicest dude you could come across. That dude is like super nice and super gentle.
The only thing is he will if he's with someone who is like someone like me who I'm not a big drinker, he'll be like, "Yeah, no, I'll get you a drink. It's fine." It's Mike, I want to get drunk or anything. No, that's cool. It's cool.
Man, see, I wish he would have done that with me. When I ran into Mike, I was already double fisting. Like, I think I had a Red Bull and vodka and a beer in one hand when I saw Mike, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, let's get a picture. Fucking hey, what's going on, man?"
I walked by you when you were in line at the popcorn thing, and you just reach into your bag like, "Brian, you want some of this?" Like, "No, I'm about to go to dinner."
Yeah, listen, it was Combo Breaker was a good time, man, for everybody. Everybody involved at Combo Breaker had a good time.
Combo Breaker is still the best, and if it moves to Minnesota, like people are thinking it might, it will become the actual best. So hey.
Well, but that's just because your ass won't have to travel. That's why you'll think it's the best.
No, I won't have to travel, but also you guys get to experience our airport, MSP. It's a fucking good ass airport, You'll get to experience Mall of America. It's right there. For good food. It's a good city.
All right, you're talking me into it. You're talking me into it. I'll consider.
There's no toll booths.
All right, see, now you're talking my language because I got hit with a fucking $60 fine for like running a toll booth that I didn't know was there.
Why
So
don't you just bring like a roll of quarters with you? Or at least, I knew about that stuff coming in, so I grabbed stuff. But
yeah, see, I didn't know the fucking toll booth was right there. I'm a country bumpkin, so I saw like toll ahead, so I was like, oh sweet, the toll must be coming up. And then the next thing I knew, I was passing it, and I was like, okay, well.
I love that. There's one if you're going east back towards Minnesota. That's like it's this huge. It's like they built like a mall, like over the strip of land that goes over the toll.
Yes.
it's like a castle on the hilltop. It's like, oh, and there's a toll booth below it.
Yeah, it's so weird. They have those leaving and going north to Michigan as well. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, one of them, there's a McDonald's play place just like over the highway, like a whole ass McDonald's.
And if it helps too, like a friend of mine who is from Illinois, he's like, yeah, everyone them too.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, listen, I'm excited to go to Minnesota if Combo Breaker doesn't end up in Minnesota, but I gotta say,
we've got a Red Bull Conquest here in November.
That's true.
Saying.
That's true. That's true. Now, is Rick helping organize that one?
I don't know. I don't know the details of those too much. Generally, the impression is Red Bull just kind of talks to people on the ground, because we had one last year too, and I think the fact that we've had two in a row now speaks to, I guess, their level of trust in us or in our TOs.
Right.
It's funny. We used to have three. One of them is kind of taking an extended like retirement from TOing, but all their names are Kevin, and apparently they held like a tournament, like a first to death, to determine who would be the Kevin.
Of course they did. That's the most Midwest shit I've ever heard. Kevin,
wait, say that again? I'm sorry.
That's the most Midwest shit I've ever heard. Like, oh my god.
And so now that he's left, he's I don't know if he's taking a break or whatever. The other ones I just call him Kevin, but I always try to remember their last names. But no.
Gotcha. Well, look, it's totally fine. The council of Kevins.
The strongest Kevin.
Yeah, oh my god, the strongest Kevin. Kev 1. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. But fucking the Minnesota FGC and like the Midwest FGC in that area is super fucking strong. So no, if Combo Breaker was gonna move there, I feel like that'd be a really good thing. That would be a really good like idea for the area.
I've joked about this before. I just want Daigo to like do a vlog of him at the airport and just be like, this is a very nice airport, and that's it. That's all I want. I just want to see it on FGC translated.
Oh my god. I don't know if any airport is going to be able to top like the shitty O'Hare airport, or
that's the other part of it too. It's like, I don't have to go to O'Hare anymore.
Yeah.
I just make the drive because it's like 6 hours. And
right.
I've got friends that like goes by like nothing. So.
I think from here to like Minnesota is like a 10-hour drive. So
yeah. I think that for Michigan Masters, I was like, I'll just fly out. But now, next year, I may even just drive, just to not, I don't know, worry about it.
No, fuck that. Just fly. Fly to Michigan Masters. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I like having a car when I go to events, unless it's like Evo, where it's all inside the venue. So
that's fair. But I mean, I guess for me, like everything that I could want at Michigan Masters is right there. Like all the food is directly across the street.
I ate so much Jet's Pizza while I was there.
Dude, fucking tell me about it.
I was having like mild acid reflux, but I was like, maybe I'll get Jets today. Yeah, it's good.
I had sushi while I was there. I had some pho. I had some...
Yeah, the pho place across the street was really good.
Yeah, lots of pizza, lots and lots of pizza.
Even like that sports bar place. The only complaint I had that place was they had like fried pickles. And my brain autocompleted as like fried pickle chips, which I think is like the most optimal way to eat a pickle.
Did they give you a whole ass fried pickle?
No, well, they might as well, because they cut it into 4 long strips and fried it.
What the fuck?
And that's why I was like, I don't know what I expected, but I guess
no. Fried pickles are pickle chips. If anyone fucking cuts them into spears, they're a cop. Fuck that shit.
Because I bite into it, and it's just like hot pickle, like a thick hot pickle. You know, maybe you're into that, and I respect it, but me,
Yeah, that sounds awful. That sounds absolutely terrible. No, thank you.
It just felt awkward to eat, and I was like, oh.
Oh my god.
The rest of the food there was good. The sports bar place.
Yeah.
There was an Einstein's. There was a Starbucks, the Burger King. Michigan Masters is a good ass tournament. I definitely am going next year. I definitely want to learn an anime game for next year.
Yeah, I
felt left out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up probably not Eunice. Fuck Eunice. Eunice is great. Fuck Eunice. I don't know. I'll probably pick up Guilty Gear or something for next year. I think
Guilty Gear seems to be the thinking because it's like, okay, well, if it's more or less the same, no loss. If it's slightly easier, however, hey. Which I think is kind of the way people are thinking it's going to be.
Yeah.
Maybe they get like a 4-button fighter. They just combine punch kick. Or remove like
slash heavy slash, sir. Thank you very much.
No, because I feel like that fulfills the thing where like slash is like your awesome mid range button. Heavy slash is your like fuck shit up button.
That's fair. I entered a bunch of games this year, like, just to play a whole bunch. Like, I entered Soul Calibur, Tekken, Street Fighter, Third Strike, Catherine, Windjammers, and the golf tournament.
I always have that split second of, like, Catherine, but they go, no, Catherine is a legit competitive game. If you've never watched, like, a Catherine top 8, very, very good. You will be entertained, I promise.
Yes. Al, please... Hey, play Catherine. Catherine's a great-ass game. I'm all about Catherine.
It's funny, because for me, I also, for a while, was like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for, like, 3 or 4 games. I would traditionally sign up for, like, Street Fighter as the main game, Tekken as, like, yeah, I'm working in Tekken, it's cool. And then Marvel Infinite, just to kind of, like, because if people are throwing a tournament for that, I want to support that game and, you know, just add money to the pot bonus, even if I go 0-2 or whatever.
Right.
But, especially... this last Evo, where I've realized that, like, for me to play really well, I really want I go to my pools, or at least just like be able to focus on like the one game I want to do well at. I would almost rather sign up for like one game and then just play casuals all weekend, like win or lose.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I did. Like the later half of Saturday and then waiting until Sunday was just like moseying around, like playing arcades, playing casuals, hanging out, having drinks, playing in the Del Poder tournament, which was just great. Everyone should, well, not everyone should because you can't. There's like a limit, but you should witness the Del Poder tournament at Michigan Masters because it's an event.
Now, I will say this. I did also sign up for the game I did the best at EVO this year is the one I was not expecting to, which was Sam Show. I actually was one game out making out of pools through losers in Sam Show.
Oh, damn.
And I also was 2 for 2. Do you play Sam Show? Are you familiar enough with it?
I do. I actually play a little bit of Sam Show. Probably that's the game I play the most besides Street Fighter at this point.
Sam Show is probably the one game where I'll go, I'll Sam Show, because I can play. I don't need a lot of muscle memory to remember how to play Sam Show, and there's not weird stuff in that game or there's some weird stuff to defend, but not like there's not like extreme execution or anything.
Right. Yeah, you just got to ease it in the middle of your hit stun and then steal around.
Or out of a throw. Are you familiar with Darley's like unarmed punch move?
More than anything else because that's who I main.
Well, I'll have you know, I was 2 for 2 on Galactica Phantoms at Evo, and both times they were a punish. There was a oh god, what's his name? The seven sword dude. Yoshitora. I was gonna say Tiger Guy, but it's like no,
it's not Tiger Guy. That's racist. Overhaul. Don't say that.
It's in his name. He was abusing like his it's like his back DP where he like hops forward with armor and then slashes you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this guy he cornered me, he kept doing that and backing off, so I said, well fuck it. I just put my sword on the ground. He does the move, I start doing the heavy punch, like pop 70% of his life KO win the game. And then also once against a Tam Tam, because he had like hit me with like a slash and canceled into his weapon flipping technique, which is his big fireball where he he cheers afterwards.
Right.
Well, I had backdashed in the middle of the slash hit, so I flipped out. I was out of hit stun. I'm like, oh, he's just going to do the fireball. So I start just charging the punch. I armor through the fireball and just boom, 70% win the round. Now that Tam Tam beat me, but I basically won Evo with that.
Absolutely. Look, it's the style points that matter.
Not Miku Hitsune or whatever her name is. It's crazy.
Yeah, I really wish I knew who that Japanese idol that won Sam show. I
Yeah,
hear
it's
great
crazy,
things about
but-
her music, but never really looked into her at all.
So for me, with the maybe exception of Sam Show, and that's probably why that game is so valuable to the FGC, is like it's a good ass game that you don't need to like spend 40 hours a week. You don't have to have like a second job of learning that game. Like there are people like me who I've mainly just focused on Street Fighter,
Right.
and it's mainly the only game I play. But like Sam Show, you can just kind of pick up every once in a while and defend yourself, not be like scrubbed out. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like Sam Show is very easy to pick up, hard to master. But it's definitely a game that you can pick up and feel like you know what the hell you're doing. Like that game does a very good job of reinforcing your good and bad tendencies, but make it still look like you know what you're doing. Because heaven knows that every earthquake in the world is gonna do jump B like it's their goddamn job. Oh my god. Jump B and Jump C are the bane of my existence when I fight Earthquake. That's terrible. At this point, I've just given up.
Are you saying Darley doesn't have good anti-airs?
Darley has 0 anti-airs. She has 0 anti-airs. And please, for the love of God, increase the range of her weapon flip super.
You said that video I posted of just like,
Yes.
it just whiffs.
The range on her weapon flip super, absolute trash. Absolute trash.
I guess because it's armor, they want to restrict it in some way. But
Yeah, but they should also make it so that way it hits. They should also put it in the game. It'd be really great if she had a weapon flip super, but she doesn't.
If you're going to explicitly give Hanzo throw weapon flip, even just off back throw or like where it's a forced side switch, yeah, give it to everybody or give it to no one. If it's one of those things where it's like. It's not really a reason for there to be a discrepancy here, but anyway, it's a good game.
Yeah. Listen, I have no problem with Sam Show. The balancing is kind of weird, and like there's a clear tier list. But other than that, I think the game itself is fun, and hopefully as we go forward, the meta will kind of sort itself out, and we'll have more tech that comes out.
Do you know the gimmick of the incoming character Shizumaru, like the young guy with like the umbrella?
Yes, a little bit. I know of his character, but I don't know a lot about him.
So traditionally, his gimmick is that he has a turnaround punch, like Balrog.
Okay.
And it was you could be.
Oh, you could charge it from the weapon or from the character select screen.
It's some versions of the game. If it's an arcade cab, you can hold the button down when you put your quarter in.
Oh baby.
And it counts. It keeps up. It's not a punch cross moon. It's like he like takes his sword out. Because he carries a sword on his back, and he like charges at you like think of he's just trying to like stab you, and
right.
He like pins you to the back wall when he does it too, and like the screen shakes in Samurai Showdown 5 Special. It's like a Tekken counter hit. Like you take real life damage when it hits. You're like, oh.
Listen, the fact that you can charge it from the character select screen somewhere in the UK, Cross Moon is fully tumescent right now. He is. At attention. He is super excited about it, let me tell you.
Like, you thought Season 2 Balrog was bullshit. Wait until you see this, because it will be... it could be 100%. Like, they could do it. It would not shock me with how eSyn works. Like, yeah, we'll put it in.
Yeah,
maybe make it...
Why not?
Super unsafe or super slow, but they could do it.
I hope they put it in from the time you load up the game, if you're holding the right trigger. Or R2. Like, from the time the game is powered on until the first match.
It might. Like, that's the thing. Certain versions of the games have allowed that. So, who knows?
Oh, man. I'll be so happy. Happy.
Just, like, do the... What Desk do when he did the Balrog video with, like, the 3 turnaround punches? He just, like, taped down the butt.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, he's a crazy person. I think Desk is. I love Desk, and... Oh, hold on. Really quick. While we're talking about Desk, I have to give a shout out to him. He has a band, in case anyone doesn't know. Desk has a band called Project Dolphin, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're on Bandcamp. Go support Project Dolphin. Just like give them a listen. They've done the music for Weekend Warriors and Super Couch Fighters and a couple other YouTubers.
Oh, yeah.
They do fucking great music.
If I can, I want to specifically recommend the song "Funcy." It's just just a good song. I'm one of those people where like, I songs without lyrics do more for me because I read the emotions of the song more, I guess, or does more to my like emotional state.
That's the most hippie shit I've ever heard in my entire life, Brian.
It's the most what?
That's the most hippie shit I've ever heard in my life.
I didn't ask. I don't even think about it. You know, it's like when you're listening to like Miles Davis, like Kind of Blue, like just the jazz. Yeah. Like you're not thinking about anything, and there's no words to comprehend. It's just like good music.
Right.
But Desk, I will always respect him for this. When Marvel Infinite came out and people were just like, "Oh, this is a shit game," like in his video comments, he just put out video after video. And there's one that he did with Funcy as the background music of him just abusing Space Storm, like the box, and it's just like it's like a tribute to the game. I tear up a little bit thinking about because it was just like when people were just sharing this game, this guy like still just saw it for the cool stuff that it was. That's all.
No, that's totally fair. And I'm only giving you shit about your music because we're friends. But like, no, I 100% feel the same way. There are a lot of like backing. Like if I can find a song and I'm like, I really appreciate this song itself, but I really just kind of like the backing track, or I really just like the music behind the song. Like there are a lot of times where I'll just go into that mode and find like specifically search out like instrumentals for songs or something like that, or just pure instrumental songs because I don't know. Sometimes I don't need to hear you talking or you singing. Like there are so many bands out there that I'm like, you guys would be so much better if your lead singer just like fucked off.
I don't know if you're a JoJo fan, if you're current on JoJo. Season 4 has its first opening is called Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town, and first of all, it's a perfect title for that setting if you watch it. And the singing is good, but the instrumental is like perfect because that song goes in at points. It's like, oh, it's great. It's very godlike. Look up the instrumental if you can, Crossmoon. Like it's extremely good. I love that. I love the instrumental of that song.
I will have to look it up after the show.
What else?
I am the outlier of the FGC. I've never seen or read JoJo's, and I've never played Half-Life. So like those are the 1 and 2. And people are like, "Have you done this?" Nah. Have you watched this? Nope.
No, and that's fine. It's interesting that you say that because I would consider both of those games. Like, if you watch a lot of anime and you've never watched JoJo and you finally watch JoJo, you're like, oh, I get it. I understand everything now. I understand what all these little references were to. It's like never watching Star Wars, and then you watch like 40 years of movie history, and then you finally watch Star Wars. You go, oh, I get it.
That's fair.
Half-Life as well. Half-Life 2 basically revolutionized first-person shooters and storytelling in first-person shooters. Or some of the things they do, like, hey, why are barrels red in all these video games? Because they explode. Because Half-Life did. Why is there like light being used to draw my attention towards progression? Because Half-Life 2 did it. Stuff like that. So if you, to the point where maybe if you watch it, it's kind of like someone who has never watched Seinfeld and watches shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm or all these other shows where every character's an asshole, and then you watch Seinfeld and you're like, I don't get it. Like,
until last year, I'd never seen Seinfeld.
Yeah, I have not watched a lot of Seinfeld. The whole point of Seinfeld was like characters being assholes like that to each other was not common in the day. Right. So that show was like, oh, it's such a big deal. But nowadays, it's like, it's whatever. Hey, it's still funny, but
I've since gone back and watched Seinfeld, the entire series. I think at least twice. I think now with my wife, and I can say that's a very good show. That being said, if I'm going to rank 90s sitcoms, Friends is still over Seinfeld for me, and that's never going away. Well, I love Friends. Like that is unabashedly one of my favorite shows of all time. That and The Wire, I think, are 1 and 2 the greatest TV shows of all time. I
can't say much because I watched a lot of like West Wing when I was younger. So.
Okay, look, that's all right. That's totally okay. Yeah, like Friends was like my shit when I was younger. And I think that's probably why I make a lot of excuses for it today. Is because I watched it so much when I was younger.
Oh, I respect it. There's some good stuff in that show. Friends is also a show where like they try to kind of recreate that with every other show afterwards. So
yeah, definitely. But for what it's worth, NBC has a track record of putting out just tremendously great shows. Seinfeld was on NBC, I believe. Friends, The Office, Parks and Rec. I believe The Good Place now. Community.
Was How I Met Your Mother on NBC?
No, they were CBS.
Okay, I I have a friend of mine who like loves that show, but I give him shit because I always go, yeah, too bad they gave it the worst ending ever, and
yeah,
he grimaces and smiles because he knows I'm right, but he doesn't want to admit it.
They really did. They really fucked the end of that show.
Yeah.
They just were like, well,
hey,
this will make the
committed.
fans happy, but like giving us a circular answer doesn't make the fans happy.
Well, they were committed to a certain ending no matter what, and didn't kind of step back to go, hey, this actually seems really weird and gross if we do it like this. But anyway.
Yeah, I digest.
I hope so. Otherwise, my
no, sorry. I shouldn't spill out awful inside jokes between me and my friends onto a podcast that goes out to people.
No, see, I was just gonna be a shit and make fun of what I thought was a simple mistake, but no, it's me who is dumb.
No. Listen, it's not you. It's me going, haha, inside joke that you don't get. Listen, hold on. Let me get really close to the microphone and explain to the viewers that no, I understand that it's digress, but I say digest because me and a couple friends think it's funny. Okay,
this is now an ASMR stream.
Yes. All right, that's the end of the bit. All right, thank you guys. All right, ASMR over. Fuck you. All right, so
someone watching this just passed out, and they're having the best nap of their life.
Look, I pray for that person if they fall asleep to my voice. I'm really sorry. Hey,
I have a question. When Pierce inevitably becomes a guest on this show, you should just replace the entire background screen with that screenshot of the two of you as Abigail, just like reeling from the gut punch.
Oh,
at the same
100%.
Time.
I've been waiting for Pierce to be like, when do I get to be on, shithead? And like he hasn't said anything yet, so I've just been waiting. But Pierce, you're more than welcome to be on the show. Just hit me up sometime. Please do. Please do.
I still remember watching that and going, fuck this match. That's a good reason. For anyone who doesn't know, we ran a lobby a while back. I was getting ready for a monthly, and subsidiaries or Pierce and Sriracha here had a Abigail mirror match. At one point, they both do a crouching heavy punch in neutral, and both Abigails just rear back like they're about to throw up. It's almost kind of beautiful in like a disgusting way, but
listen, it was beautiful. The fact that they didn't interact and crush counter each other is somehow like, I don't know, just the best.
It's same strength. It's not gonna happen, unfortunately.
Oh, is that how it works? That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, hold on. I'm gonna save this. I gotta let me view this image. Let me throw this shit up for the fans at home. Yeah, listen, everyone has to see it now. Seeing as we brought it up, it is what it is. Is it not? Please, for the love of God, show up. I will. Hold on. Let me do it this way then, because my computer wants to act like a shithead. But anyway, no. The Abigail mirrors are by far the best mirror matches in the game. Everyone should play them. You should participate in an Abigail mirror match, because that shit is the most fun. Yeah, this right here, this what's on the screen right now.
I was looking for myself.
Yeah, this is if you ever want to see an Abigail mirror match, like in a nutshell, this single picture encapsulates the entire thing. It's
the logical conclusion.
It really is.
If you want a vision of the future, just two Abigails crouch heavy punching themselves.
Oh, it's great. He looks like this is going to be a reference that no one's going to get except for me. He looks like the spider boss from Donkey Kong Country 3. Eric.
Oh. I can just think about like the giant robot who was like the recurring boss. I can't think of his name either.
You were thinking of Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos. Let me hold on. I will bring up this image of the spider. Not a robot spider, just a spider. Yeah, I know. It makes you very sad. Look, I'm gonna make this image appear. But anyway, he looks like Eric the Spider from Donkey Kong Country 3. Arich, which I suppose was supposed to be like a play on.
Can I see that?
You sure can. You can look at it on the screen right now with the rest of us.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, Eric the Spider.
Is it because of the jaw, I guess?
Yeah, it looks like it to me. Okay, everyone, just indulge me for a second. Hot damn it. Yeah, listen, Eric gave everyone PTSD when we were younger. That spider's scary as hell. You can't.
I just love like the pile up of images to see.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's totally fine. This is That's what Eric looks like. I'm gonna put these side by side for people that are watching the VOD. Y'all can be like, man, I really wish I was instead of listening to this on iTunes. But you can just go back and watch the VOD if you really want to. If not, no big deal.
Look up Eric with EIRCH Spider Boss DKC3.
Yes,
see it.
And you will 100%. You will 100% see it.
I don't know if the little girl can hear me, but I would imagine me just saying the line from Predator when he takes off the mask and Arnold just sees it for the first time. That's me.
You're an ugly son of a bitch. Ugly is ugly motherfucker. I think it's ugly motherfucker.
Oh.
Well, listen, she'll be fine. She's not paying attention. She's across the other side of the room at this point. Anyways, off of my awful parenting. Listen, I'm gonna throw this one out there too for anyone that's listening. Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3 are better than any Mario 2D platformers, and you should go out and play them.
Should we just go straight to like video game hot takes? Because I've got some in that vein.
Oh yes, please hit me with them.
Banjo-Kazooie is better than Mario 64.
Yes.
And Mario 64 is a good game.
Yes, Mario 64 is a perfectly good 6 out of 10, and Banjo-Kazooie is a 9 out of 10.
And Majora's Mask is a much better game than Ocarina of Time.
100%. Look, so far I'm agreeing with you. Solid takes.
Oh, I got to push it here. Final Fantasy X has the best protagonist.
Well, thanks for listening to Some Random, everybody. This has been SrirachaFlash. I can no longer do this show with the Overhaul. No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah,
he's better. Well, okay, better is an objective term that's probably not correct to use here, but Titus is extremely underrated as far as Final Fantasy protags go. Yeah,
I will say he's underrated. I'll agree with that. But as
for a couple reasons. One, he has like the most character development of any of them, I would say.
Are we talking strictly 3D Final Fantasies?
That's a good question. Yes.
Okay. If that is the case,
only to hear the counter argument. But let me finish real quick.
Okay,
he
no
has
problem.
a shit ton of character development. The way he handles the big reveal in that game is to go, okay, that's fine. I still want to save everybody. And then when the time comes, he does the thing and he doesn't question it, and he gives up a lot to do it. To do the right thing. I think it's extremely underrated. That's all I got.
Look, you know what? I can see where you're coming from. I'm okay with it.
How much of my veiled mentions did you understand? Did you beat Final Fantasy X? It's not
yes,
a rhetorical question.
I did.
Actually, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I finished every Final Fantasy game. I'm a very big fan of Final Fantasy. So with that being said, I think, as a character, Noctis is on the same level as Titus.
I have not played 15. I have heard people say good things about this, though. Unless they're playing Tekken Online, but that's another.
I think Noctis is one of the best 3D Final Fantasy characters that there has ever been, as far as a protagonist goes. I think he and Titus are on the same level. I think they're both very, very solid, very good characters. All that being said, I think Zidane is the best Final Fantasy character.
Zidane is good. The only thing about Zidane is that he is an what's the word I want to say here?
Not
he
interesting.
Is an unrelenting and like unapologetic sexual harasser.
Well, look, man, it was a different time. No, I can't make excuses. They did throw a lot of that weird shit in there.
He is very good. He is up there. Believe me. Holy shit, Zidane! Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah, for real. Zidane would not be tolerated nowadays. That character gets thrown out the fucking window. But of like all the Final Fantasy like main character protagonists, I think Terra from Final Fantasy VI is,
Terra's good.
6. I think she is the best.
The only thing about 6 is that they were very ambitious with how they made stuff work, and how the second half of the game turns out, where it's like you may not get every single party member, or you may not succeed in getting every single party member, I should say. And so her story is interesting, but and like how she kind of ends up is cool, and what her goal is by the end, like why she wants to be the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like her character is pretty flat. I'd say like Celis is way more interesting to me.
Ooh, that's a. Ooh, now you're coming for my neck. But I understand it. I get it. I understand.
Celis and what's the thief character that she falls in love with?
Oh God,
I can see his stupid bandana and boots right now.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll find him. Is it Locke?
Yes, with an E.
Yes, Locke with an E.
I think Locke and Celis alone are like infinitely more interesting than anything Terra has to offer. Even though Terra is technically, like the protag, like the story is about her. But Crossmoon has asked a good question. We should remember it for later. Just to point that. No,
if we're gonna go with characters, I think Vivi from Final Fantasy IX is hands down the
Vivi
best.
is also really good. Vivi
is the best. If we're just going of all characters, Vivi fucking number one with the bullet.
Vivi's story is so interesting and cool that they actually had to steal it for Zidane.
Ooh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, look, fuck, man, I don't know. I just feel like
it's your brain is just doing that little. It's just melting right now. Like
I'm kind of processing it now, and going, fuck, it's the same story.
Garnet, I think, has a super interest. Like, that also speaks to how good 6 and 9 are. Nice, is that there's multiple characters that have a lot going on.
Yes, absolutely.
What's his name? Who's the samurai dude from Doma? He has the Bushido thing where he has to like charge up moves to a certain extent.
Hot damn it! Hold on, I'll look it up. I can't remember. I'll just fully admit I can't remember. So y'all just have to hold that for a second while I look this shit up. But anyway, go on.
The other thing I would say is, what makes Titus the best is he has probably the most human moment that everyone consistently misinterprets, which is the laughing scene.
See, though that boils
people
my
make
blood.
fun of it, and I also at the time was like, aha, they're just laughing and it's weird. But then at the end where they laugh normally, and then Waka's like, hey, you guys crazy? Are you okay? It's like, oh, they both just went through some shit and they're trying to like adjust or learn to put up with it.
Right, and they're trying to force the laughter out. Like they're trying to force feeling something. Like to keep their minds out of like I understand out of context, like it's funny, but like
it's super weird.
But like out of context and use it as a point, out of context, use it as a point of criticism against the game makes me want to throttle people. Like I just, it's like that asshole that was gave Astral Chain a bad review and then said he never made it to the second level. Oh, like
apparently those levels are super long, so I can understand from like a quick review not getting it. But yeah, that's pretty bad.
I just feel like if you're gonna review a game, you have to finish the game.
That's like when they tied the music in Devil May Cry 5 to your rank, and people were like, I can't hear the music.
Yeah, because you're not doing well.
There are good game journalists. Giant Bomb is pretty good. There are some good ones out there, but when it's bad, it's pretty bad. It makes everyone else look like idiots.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it is really bad. But like, I think criteria should be you have to finish the game in order to give a review. I'm sorry, because like,
didn't even give me rankings for battles.
Yeah, that's the other one too. That was so bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, Darksiders 2 if I had never finished Darksiders 2, like I did last year, and I just sat on it stewing, I would go, Darksiders 2 is one of the most disappointing sequels I've ever played in my entire life. It is awful and terrible. And I finally sat down and like played it for more than 5 hours. And by the end of it, I was like, I fucking love this game. Like, it completely changed me.
Darksiders 1 is such a good-ass game because it's just, is this just this mechanic from this game? It is. This is a good game.
It is. It is The Legend of Zelda meets God of War, but like pulled off better than any clone of those two games has ever done, with more interesting characters than any of those knockoff games.
You forgot the part where they give you a...
Yeah, oh yeah. It's Darksiders is Zelda. Zelda
it's the same
meets God of War
it's
meets Portal.
It's orange and blue.
Yeah, they're orange and blue portals. That game is my wife's favorite video game. And
no,
she's finished it like 3 times at this point. It's so good.
I do want to get to the questions about Alex, but I do want to say, with the exception of Space Marine, I have never felt more, and Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 is actually the most, but I've never felt more powerful as a character than playing Darksiders 1.
Yes. War, by the end of that game, you feel like such an overpowered badass, and like the way that you can finish enemies and bosses, everything feels so good. It feels so goddamn good.
His stupid dumb fist.
Yes, it's so good.
Don't get punched.
Oh,
he will punch you.
I started Darksiders 3 and I have to finish it. I didn't want to like spoil it for my wife and like play it ahead of her before she got a chance to finish it.
I need to play it. Period. I bought it at release because I was like, I want to support these guys. They make good games. I want to see what they come up for this one. And
right.
Apparently, what they came up with is Dark Souls.
Yes.
And also their new game Remnant is like a first-person shooter, Bloodborne. It's like, yeah, they crib ideas, but they do it extremely good. Like,
yes,
those
like
games.
Better than anyone else. Like, it's so good. And then they have a new game, Darksiders Genesis, which is like a top-down Diablo style game. So
like a twin stick shooter almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it has co-op and everything. Like, if those dudes like for the rest of their lives are just like the Burger King to the McDonald's of video games, like I fully support it. I love the dudes behind the Darksiders games. THQ Nordic, I believe. They're absolutely wonderful. I love those fucking guys.
Darkside Run, KOTOR Tour. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard a lot of good things about KOTOR. Wow.
Yeah, KOTOR 1 and 2, excellent. A lot of expanded universe stuff from Star Wars is very, very good.
Also, yeah, speaking about Platinum Games and stuff like that, and being powerful protagonist, Bayonetta 2 is like a perfect 10, like 10 out of 10 game.
I have to finish Bayonetta 2. I've never gotten around to finishing it.
It's just weird. It's weird because Bayonetta 1 was like the big like groundbreaker and cool stuff, but that game is like a 7 out of 10. It's like really good, but there's some stuff that like to me holds it back a lot. There's some like annoying parts. Bayonetta 2 is like a perfect game. Like, it feels good. It feels good to play that game. It feels good moment to moment in that game. Cool stuff happens. Like, you fight God, like, spoiler alert, you fight God at the end of that game, and you're like, this guy can't even touch me. Like, that's how cool I feel. But,
okay. All right. Look, I'm all about it. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first Bayonetta. I finished the first Bayonetta, which, like, the constant psych outs of, the constant psych outs that were in that game of, like, you finished the game. Nope, just kidding. Like,
may Jubileus, the creator, grace you. It's like, what does that mean? At the end, you're like, oh, I get.
Yeah.
Like, just to add, when you, like, barely dodge move in Bayonetta 2, they added lines where, like, it activates witch time. She just goes, like, you were so close, and you just, like, beat them up and stuff. It's so good. Yeah. I also feel like, if I can be, like one of these people for a second, I also feel like they handled, like, her sexuality better. In Bayonetta 1, there's a part where she just starts moaning in the middle of a fight for no reason. In Bayonetta 2, there's a small, like, 10-second break in a fight, and she, like, is, like, looking up at her enemy, and she, like, licks her lips. It's so much more subtle than the first game. It's like, oh, did they, like, tone this down? It was one of the things that would bother me of, like, okay, I get it. She's getting off on this. And 2, it's like, oh, it's still there. It's just not, like, thrown in your face. But that's me. I'm the kind of guy, I'm the weirdo that, like, if you're throwing, like, fan service in my face, my first thought is not like hell yeah. It's are you trying to like cover up for like your game not being good by just doing this? I mean that's fine. I respect it, but
that's in near Automata. They have like gratuitous ass shots of 2B, which they could have done without in that game because that game is damn near perfect.
That game, hey, another platinum game. That game, I beat the final ending and like burst into tears. I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is.
Don't spoil it for the people that don't know.
No, I could. It's kind of like JoJo. Like I don't know if I could spoil it for you. I could tell you like what happens. And it's like okay, but without context, it means nothing.
That's true. The final wrap up to that. Yeah, actual tears on my face.
The final decision you have to make.
Yes.
Yeah. Which adds to the feeling of that game and the you know, it gives you very good closure. Is all I'll say.
Right. Fuck. Yeah. All right. We can't talk about this anymore because I'm gonna start bringing up the moment that made me start like pre crying before the ending had me crying, and then like the moment that like the pre cry moment of the final boss fight and the emotions in that fight, fucking. Right now talking about it, I have goosebumps and like fucking.
I'll finish by saying this: when like Breath of the Wild won like Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and Nier was just like won like Best Music and wasn't even on the list, I was like, that is a shame. And Breath of the Wild is a very good game.
Yeah,
like that's a travesty, and that speaks to how good I think Nier is. But anyway,
yeah, no, I think Nier is excellent. Breath of the Wild also very very good. I think Breath of the Wild is a top 5 Zelda game, but
it's very good. It's up there.
Yeah, but I'm also a big stickler for 2D Zelda, but that's just me. So we've talked this fucking long and like barely hit on the FGC. So I guess I have to ask you some FGC related questions just for a second, Brian. And I know Crossmoon asked a question earlier, so eventually we'll get to that. But let's start here. How did you start playing fighting games in the first place? What drew you in?
So I definitely very early in my life had exposure to fighting games. I remember having like a floppy disk. For you like youngins out there, it's the save symbol.
It's the save
I
symbol.
Had a floppy disk of it's the old one of Chun-Li looking scared as a slasher smile. Blanca is doing a Blanca ball at her and Ryu's on the ground like all beat up.
Okay, so the original Street Fighter 2 art.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a floppy disk, and I think we had it on Super Nintendo as well.
Okay.
I remember that, but like I had no concept of like how to be good at fighting games or anything like that. And then my family was pretty solidly middle class, so we had like a PlayStation when I got older. I remember playing Marvel Superheroes a lot, the one where like you have to actually like pick up the gems off the ground and stuff.
Yes.
And use the thing and goes infinity. And Spider-Man has that amazing pose that they brought to Marvel Infinite. And even stuff like there was a roller rink near where I lived, and they had like Marvel vs. Capcom 1. I was like, oh my god, you get to play Mega Man in this game. You have like the huge Mega Man body, and you have like the drill car. But no, to be honest, a lot. Yeah, that's it. Which also, when they showed off that shirt for the Evo prize pool fundraiser, that was like Blanca-chan, like everyone was wearing like their alternate costumes. I was so happy. I still have that shirt.
That's man, I wish I would have grabbed one. That thing was awesome.
But I like for a long time it wasn't really the type of game I was interested in. Games like Diablo 2 and World of Warcraft basically like stole a lot of my time when I was in high school. And I didn't really get into it until I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago. So I actually had a pretty late start to picking up fighting games than a lot of people. Where I can't remember what caused me to find this. Actually, no, I remember now. It was I was following Matt McMuscles of Best Friends Play, or formerly Best Friends Play, and he was quote tweeting a Maximilian tweet about the Shadow Jago boss rage. And because we used to have a Killer Instinct cab at like the movie theater when I was younger, and being like, oh man, this game is so cool. You got like this werewolf with robot arms. You got the actual robot, the skeleton dude. You had Tusk. You had TJ Combo. All this stuff. And I remember going like, whoa, Killer Instinct is back and looks like this and looks great. And that video, Max was raging so hard because he had to fight at Kyle difficulty, which was in of itself like funny. It's so ridiculous. Why is this difficulty called Kyle? Why is it the hardest? And he beat it. And I think one of the related videos was like this is like 2016 Max, maybe this was 2013. So when he was still kind of becoming big on Twitch, but not as gigantic as he is now. It was like a compilation made of him playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 online, playing just like different like Third Strike online edition, and just like the hype and the music and all that stuff. It just looked cool, and I remember finding Third Strike like character designs, but not really understanding what like cues, like who is this character, and that kind of slowly got me into watching more of his stuff. And then I found a trailer for it's like the second what was this? It was like the first or second Super Excellent Adventures with K-Brad, Gutex and Mike Ross. The one where the trailer is like Gutex is wearing this like pink shirt with like this like weird blue like block trim, and he's playing Cody. And they're talking about like why they play Cody, because you want to defend the middle because of the buttons. It teaches your newbie friends about how to defend the middle. And K-Brad notices they're at like 1500 BP and goes, "What the hell happened to your points?" And they start like cry laughing because they're so like caught off guard. And that's a hop, skip, and a jump later. I pick up Ultra Street Fighter 4 on Steam. I'd watched Evo that year. I watched like Snake Eyes versus Shin, which is like that was the moment that made me go, not only do I play this stuff, I actually want to be good enough to do that, like be like that.
Right.
And I had this like a shitty Xbox controller, like an Xbox 360 controller with like that awful D-pad, which I could not play on. So I bought like a PDP fight pad. It's kind of like the old Mad Catz face buttons with a D-pad on it that Snake Eyes uses.
Okay.
And then in like a year later, when I had money, I bought a Quanba Q4, and that was my first like actual fight stick, and that's when I feel like I actually started to get better. And then that was like a year and a half until Street Fighter V came out, and that was when I really started to get into it.
Hell yeah, man! Well, shit. Well,
so,
that is a hell of a tale. Yeah.
It's a lot. But it kind of connects like where did it start to like what actually got me here, which I'll answer Cross Moon's question. Why?
Why Cross Moon and Ocelot, you at this point have both been like... Because I couldn't
do a half circle command grab in Street Fighter 4, so I wanted to force myself to play a character that could. For some reason, I thought 360s were impossible. I didn't realize there was a trick to just... You don't do a full 360, you just do like...
The 225.
180 degrees.
Yeah. You imagine going from like forward, half circle back, and then like up back. And that's enough to make the 360 come out, and like that's the solid shit right there.
I remember Pat, our best friend's play, lamenting that he was always kind of like meant to be the main character but never got there. So I kind of like sympathized with it. I thought he was just really cool. Here's a good reason. In season 1, when regular DP still had invincibility, people would just DP through your block string all the time.
Oh yeah.
So what I would do, I liked Alex because he would just do stand heavy punch, heavy chop, backdrop, super simple combo. It did like a third of your life. Even today it still does like the most damage meterless for like the least execution.
Well, the early days of people DPing through your strings still makes my blood boil. It physically hurts me.
The first of many times I will go, why would they do this if not also this? Like, why would you have frame traps, or like why would you make all the block stream frame traps and still have invincible DPs? Well, they got rid of that, which in retrospect, I think actually makes sense for how easy DPs are and how powerful it is to have one than to not have one. I can kind of understand why they did that.
Yeah. Oh man, give Abigail an EXDP, please. I'd be so
Or
happy.
make Abigail his EX punches armored frame 1. Just do it.
That's see that I would be all about it.
There's no reason to give all these characters. Yes, Light Bright.
Light Bright in the chat. It's
Give
a
Alex
stern no. A stern no. She's not having my shit.
Give Alex's back forth. Like he has a charge move. Like it makes more. If the idea is that charge moves should be better because you have to charge them rather than just do a command. Make it armored frame 1. Like just why would you give characters like Ibuki a meaty setup off of everything? It's not like just give her an armored reversal. Just do it. Yeah, give Vega, make his EX. I don't know, like his Barcelona, like invincible or something.
If Vega gets armored EX Barcelona, I'm quitting the game. I will freak the hell out.
Don't armor. He's not that type of character that hard armor. But like, I agree. Every character should have a threat of "Don't fuck with me if I have meter."
Ooh,
Yeah, just do it. Fuck it.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe I guess give everyone an option, but don't make them all universal
maybe. Like
DPs.
Fang has his like he's got the I was gonna make a joke. I can't think of it. But he has his command dash. It's fully invincible. He can just I'm out. Peace.
It's not fully invincible. Grab that shit.
Yeah.
Fong? Yeah, but Fong's fucking. Well, like it is currently not fully invincible. If they made it fully invincible,
well, if I were put in charge, and I could fix it because I know some of these things maybe can't be fixed at this point, like the netcode. But like, yeah, I would give everyone something they can do, or like no meaty, or like get rid of or like increase throw invincibility on wake up to a couple frames. I know there is like a single frame of throw invincibility on wake up, but make it like a couple, make it like 3 or 4, because then that way people just need to block or they need to read tick throws. But it's not purely jump or like grab or hit. I don't know. There's too much guesswork in defense in Street Fighter V on wake up.
I will
and
say
there's
that
characters that have so much shit to do and characters that have nothing to do, and it really sucks.
Yeah. I wish there was
just delete Ibuki.
Maybe you give like a fucking tech rule or something, like just
Sam Show is not necessarily built to have a lot of Oki and Bare anyway. Yeah. But like, just the fact that you can go, I'm just gonna roll this way, because you could read that shit and do something cool, and then you're a god.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess the better question is, why have I stuck with Alex? I guess the answer is I don't have a good reason. It's not an entire. I think it's because I feel like I've never liked any of the top tiers in this game. Like I played Guile in Street Fighter 4, but he is this weird zoner or like insane rushdown character in this game. When I switched from pad to stick, I didn't like playing charge as much, so playing a pure charge character like him feels weird. Ibuki I didn't like, Urien I didn't like, Balrog I didn't like. There are all these characters I didn't like that all have the best top tier characters. Alex also, I think, playing more and also playing characters like Brian in Tekken, I realized I actually really like characters that can keep you at range, like control space like that really well. And Alex is bad at a lot of things, but like that crouch medium punch, it's still legit.
Yeah,
I don't know why they nerfed it. Like Problem X made top 8 at a premiere, like just doing crouch medium punch to people with Season 1 Alex. No, he like go watch. It was I think like GamerB won it. Okay. It was the one where like GamerB and Ryan Hart had like this Ken match. I think I want to say that. Okay.
Well, I will say Alex is one of the more fun characters that you can like come across in the game. I think his mix-ups and the way that you feel when you read somebody and like EX knee them out of the air is fucking top tier. Like I wish Abigail had like an air grab like the EX knee, because that thing is so cool.
Daddy.
Hey, what's up? Well, you still there, Brian? I think we lost you. Ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-bum bum ba-da-bum bum bum ba-dum bum. Uh-oh. You guys, we might have lost Brian. Now I gotta vamp and cover for a second. Okay. Cross Moon says the only matchup in the game he doesn't enjoy. Let me tell you. As far as matchups go, I think Fong and Laura are. Oh, you're here. You're here. I just can't hear you, Brian. I'm very sad. So I'm just covering for you right now. Awaiting endpoint. Voice connected. Brian, are you back?
Testing.
Yes, he's back.
Hey.
Oh, Discord gods.
I thought I was dead.
Well, look, now you're here. Yeah, Fong and Laura suck ass as Abby. Oh, and Manat. That matchup sucks too.
I will say certain matchups have finally forced me to drop Alex. Mika in particular and Honda. Honda is awful as Alex.
I'm willing to bet the Honda Alex matchup is like 7-3.
Well, because Honda is basically what I want to do with Alex, but better. Mm-hmm. Like get a life lead and then stay back and kind of fortress up and poke you.
Right.
Except neither character is that good. Or Alex is not. Honda gets a knockdown off a flight headbutt for some reason, but Alex doesn't. It's weird.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I will say this. I feel even if Chun-Li was technically a better matchup against Abigail, I only want to play Alex against Abigail. I want that crouching heavy punch to break through her.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, with Chun-Li in V-Trigger 1, you can get through almost all of Abby's armor.
A little bit, yeah.
That being said, Chun-Li can kiss the brownest part of my ass. Like, I will fuck that character up. I don't care. I listen. There's a lot of times where I'm like playing neutral, heavy quotation marks, but I'm just sitting there waiting to hit V skill as soon as like Chun-Li thinks she can get cute and go to the air with her V skill. Like I'm just waiting to parry that shit.
Oh yeah, if a Chun-Li player is just going right to V skill and neutral, you should pummel them. But,
yeah.
But that's another good example of like why I picked up another character. Chun-Li is. For like years, I couldn't do her SBK combo. Like I couldn't figure it out. I finally forced myself to learn it, and then afterwards went, "Oh, I can also do this other stuff." And hey, I can just slide under Mika's drop kick. Maybe I should just switch to this character for that. And it's worked out a little bit so far.
Okay. Well, at this point, I think you've covered like 3 or 4 characters since I've known you. Alex, Sagat, Chun-Li.
I played Sagat for like 2 months, and then went. No, he's too bad.
Well, here's the problem, is that you pulled Sagat out at tournament, so I assume that you were actually playing him.
During Michigan Masters, yes. I was using Sagat. And Sagat, there's fewer things more satisfying than like a deep tiger uppercut anti-air. Like real deep.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, I'm about to be hit. Never mind, tiger uppercut, motherfucker.
Bitch, you thought. Psych! Yeah. Oh, ooh. Hitting somebody...
He hurts, too.
Especially with like a cross-cut DP, where like they go overuse. Woo!
Oh, Shipper Stories, what's up?
Yeah, Shipper Stories in the chat. Yeah, hitting that DP at the last second. There is something about fully tumescent when that shit hits. It's so good.
I wish like his EXDP had the effect of a V skill one, because V skill actually puts them at full screen after the hit, which is why now it's like you got to V skill up like every chance you get. Which is, I guess that's my biggest issue with Street Fighter V is I feel like I'm playing an okay character that becomes a good character for like 30 seconds. Like if I could change it, I would rather turn stuff into like super EX moves. Like, hey, Ibuki can throw her spinning ninja wheel, but for like 2 bars or something.
Okay.
Or Alex can just parry naturally, but you have to do like a motion forward, something like that. I don't know.
I think if we did that, that would defeat the purpose of the V trigger mechanic. I would say yes. That's the point. But I like the V trigger mechanics. I enjoy them quite a bit. But I'm also the same person that really enjoyed Ultras in 4 for what they did. Mind you, those were single hit or like multi hit, or however you want to phrase it. But those were
free
supers.
Damage. It's basically what Cammy has. She just has like an Ultra in addition to her super.
Yeah, well, Again, I want to say this: buff Cammy. Cammy has problems getting in, and Cammy did not win nearly anything last year. I believe she won up 1 major and 2 ranking events. And other than that, besides being the most used character, I'll go on this tangent right now. Besides being the most used character, she had a 43% win rate.
I would just say you can't make a character that's that easy to play the best. Because at least from a viewer standpoint, it becomes very samey after a while.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't think you have to buff Cammy. If I'm being legitimate, don't buff Cammy.
I want to make her reversal -6, whatever the hell they did to that. That's ridiculous.
But if we could nerf Karen into the ground, that would be cool. that character.
I wouldn't even nerf Karen that much. I would love to see kind of like a Sam Show-esque patch for Street Fighter, where everyone's walk speed gets just buffed, like super buffed. Like just make movement much more smooth in the game.
Well, there are characters that like have very defined movement and options, and I feel like that, like with Bison, like if Bison was able to clear the screen like Akuma can.
Oh no, him and Dalsum, I think.
Yeah.
For what they are, I think is fine. Maybe Zangief, but also give him something else to work with.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Shaper Azura says Karen's light kick should be less plus. A big agree there. Karen is the only character.
Like negative, or not negative, make it neutral.
Yeah, like I'm okay with it being 0.
Yeah, that's what they did to. I think Bison's is like negative on block. It's the only one like that.
Yeah, Bison is really weird because you can cancel Bison's slide into V trigger, but I believe at best it's only like +1. So if you like want to press a button, you're more than welcome to. Karen's stand light kick is +2 on block. Make that shit 0. Make that shit 0. And listen, I want to say this: the biggest thing that they can do to Karen is reduce her sweep range. That sweep range is ridiculous. Her sweep outranges Abigail's sweep. I hate it. It is awful.
I would do 2 things. I've said this a lot. I know it couldn't be a flat change. You would have to go by each character individually. And again, maybe at this point in the game's lifespan, it's too late. But I would prefer to bring characters up to that level and maybe reduce like damage, or hey, our Karin sweep, make the hitbox linger a lot more. Like, I can't punish it without spending meter at certain ranges.
It's -14. Ridiculous. It's -14. Make that shit -20. I don't care. Make it -25. Let someone dash up and press a 3-frame button in her face if she throws that goddamn sweep out. I don't care. Karen is the only character in the game where it doesn't matter what V trigger she picks, because she's still a very good character regardless.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is the best characters in this game tend to be ones where the V trigger does not define them, where for other characters where they're so reliant on it, it feels much worse when you're playing without it. That again, I'm like, I almost, it's different from Killer Instinct, where Killer Instinct was like, this is just your character powered up, but you still have shit you can do, you still have other stuff, you still have this combo system. Like, so when they initially added, I thought this is great, but it hasn't worked out quite as well as I hoped. I think the V-skill system is great. I think V-reversals have potential, but they can't be what they are right now. V-reversals should be like plus on block, or they should be like fully invincible or something like that. Like you should be able to grab someone out of it if they're just trying to get you off of them. I feel like dashes shouldn't be counter hit. I think that's kind of ridiculous. There's just a lot of little changes. Otherwise, I feel the game it's been in the best place it's been, I think, ever in its entire lifespan.
Yeah, I think Season 4 is the best. I will keep crush counters on. Well, here's the thing. I will give counter hits to back dashes, but I crush counters on back dashes you could probably get rid of, but keep counters on, because I don't want fully invincible back dashes again. That is awful. That is a terrible thing.
No, I wouldn't. Not fully. Or at least like you could do that if the game is built around it. But
yeah. But like you said, I feel like Season 4 is by far the best season of Street Fighter V. I feel like everyone was giving. I'm gonna sound like a huge Capcom apologist here, but listen, just hear me out. Everyone gave Capcom a lot of shit for being radio silent a lot this year, and for the most part, all we got was costumes. But a very large part of me wants to think that what Capcom was doing is seeing how the competitive meta would play out leading up to EVO without the introduction of new characters and balance changes.
Oh, if you want a deep dive on conspiracy theories about Capcom silence, I've got a few ones for you.
Well, look, hit me up, because as far as I'm concerned, I think they went radio silent to study the competitive meta and see what people would do when they had a full 8 months or whatever it was to work with it. People said, "Where's the season 4 news?" Season 4 came in January. Like, we've been playing season 4.
Yeah.
If you define a season by characters, that's totally different. But we've been playing with these season 4 balance changes. So, by all means, as far as I'm concerned, we had season 4, and what Capcom did was see how we would play out without the introduction of new characters and new mechanics and balance changes and stuff like that. And what I think they did, it turned out really, really well, because everyone seems to agree this is the best season that we have. But I'm willing to hear you out, Brian. Hit me.
First things first. Speaking of new costumes, did you see the new Halloween costume?
Yes, they're bringing back the Kappa
I just sent you a link
costume.
in case you want to put it up there. Or something.
Oh yeah. I'll do that real quick. They're giving Poison a punk costume, it looks like, and they're bringing back the Kappa costume for Honda.
And they're taking my favorite stage in the game and turning it into a Halloween version of it. Well, maybe not my favorite stage, but certainly my favorite stage theme.
Yes.
Fun fact: when I beat Mike at Red Bull Conquest last year, it was at that stage, and I was like, "Okay, I'm powered up now."
Oh, you just gonna throw shade on Mike like that?
I beat Mike because I was using V-Trigger 2 Alex at the time, and no one knew what that did except for me. I barely beat him, so I'll take it.
It gives you way too much Oki for what it is.
It gives you way too few uses and very hard to do it for what it is. Also, I think the actual reward is not as good as it could be. But anyway, should I just post this link in chat? Will the bots blow it up?
The bots might blow it up. Just give me like 2 seconds here, and I'll have the image up in one Mississippi. And yes, I have. Oh, you know what?
I'll give my conspiracy theory while you handle that.
Oh wait, you know what? I actually go ahead and try to throw the link up there. I will throw an image up really quick. Oh nope! It
Okay.
ate it right up.
I'm still alive.
Send me the link in Discord, and I will throw it up there.
Okay, both balls are still here.
Brian,
I sent you the link. It's in the chat.
okay, yeah. So this is the screenshot. Yeah. Let me. I will throw the link in the chat for everyone.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool. I love like the tower in the back. They unlike the bar stage for Halloween, which I also really love, they have like completely redone this stage for it. I think it looks really cool. So yeah, yeah. So my theory is a couple things. The first one is when G and Sagat got released last year, I think a lot of people, including me, responded by saying like, "Hey."
Oh, Brian, we're lost you again. You might have to go over that one more time. Uh-oh. Guys, we lost Brian again. Okay, Brian, when you come back, just know we'll be waiting for you. But yeah, this is the new stage. Union Graveyard. It is a version of the train station for $2. E Honda is getting his Kappa costume from Street Fighter 4. Poison is becoming Amy from Evanescence. Is that her name? Amy? I can't remember her name. Shit. Anyway, yeah. Poison gets an Evanescence costume. E Honda gets his Kappa costume from Street Fighter 4. The Union Graveyard looks excellent. I will provide a link to the trailer in the. Do we sound weird? We don't have any sound at all from you, Brian, which is worse than sounding weird. So yeah, no, it drops September 17th, so I'm very excited for it, very, very excited for it. Okay, yeah, don't worry, Brian, I got you covered. Yeah, the Honda costume is definitely going to be on the wish list, well, like on the buy list immediately. Like that one looks really good, and I'm excited to see what the Christmas bundle is going to be, because they talked about announcing stuff in November, which I'm assuming. Oh,
brand new stuff.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Hey, I can hear you now. Thank you. Welcome back, Brian. Yeah, yeah. These kind of wacky costumes are what I want this Cross Moon. I'm in 100% agreement. So for anyone that is just not tuning in, Brian is a competitive Street Fighter V player from Minnesota. He's part of the Minnesota FGC out there. He's an Alex main, in case you can't tell from the Avi on screen, and he's all around a wonderful man. So
I'm so sorry for the connection issues. I'm not sure what's causing it, but
no, you're totally fine.
I appreciate the patience.
Absolutely. Look, that's what I do. Look, it's a SrirachaFlash show. If you think that this thing is run professionally, you're a crazy person. In case you didn't hear my daughter in the background and my dog snoring on the microphone, like it is what it is.
No, I was just saying. I think the reason Capcom was so silent for so long was that they're actually kind of waiting for PS5 to be officially announced so they can announce the next fighting game that they're working on, whatever that might be.
You're a crazy person. That is a conspiracy theory.
They're working on something. I just think stuff has slowed down development wise in Street Fighter V, just because that stuff is still being taken care of. It also, and I will say, Season 4 has been the best. I also feel like we need that 0.5 update more than ever. Because it feels like as it plays out, it's still a very good version of the game, but I also feel like the tiers are starting to calcify a bit. I feel like the more that goes on, there's less to explore about who is actually competitively viable and who is not.
I would go the opposite way and say that as we find out who is competitively viable, the hard counter picks for characters can be found and discovered. Near the end of Season 3, or 3.5, Blanca was found to be like a huge, Monat hard counter pick. What with his rainbow rolls and his ability to clear the screen and get in on Monat. But that wasn't really found or really used much until the end of the season. So I feel like while we will have a definitive top 5, we have Karen, we have Akuma, Rashid, Ibuki, and I don't know who rounds out that top 5, to be honest with you. Probably Cammy. While we have a definitive top 5 there,
make a good argument.
I think that we will eventually find Pixelos, because no one complains about the competitive meta of Third Strike, and that game hasn't changed since the day it came out.
Well, I guess more in the sense of it kind of sucks to be playing this character 4 years in, and it's still why is he still awful? Why is Vega still awful? Why is Ed? Some changes were made, they tried to buff some stuff, but it's still why are these characters so I don't know. I feel more optimistic about Ed in particular, but I don't know, just want to see more stuff for these characters.
That's fair, and the want to see more is fine, but I'll have to disagree with you and say that I don't feel like they've slowed down. I feel like
you made a good point. Yeah, in terms of actual releases, I guess more in the sense of I feel like that we'd be hearing more about stages and costumes. Maybe it's just me. Maybe just the silence has made me think that stuff slowed down. But
we know definitively that they will support the game through 2020, and then going forward from that, I'm assuming due to consumer support, they might continue to support it past that. I'm hoping they do. I hope that they give a solid 7-8 years to Street Fighter V like they did with Street Fighter 4.
They're going to support this game as long as there's no PS5.
Yes. Which hopefully that's
my theory.
Years out, because I can't afford another console right now.
No.
And unless people want to buy merch at teespring.com/SrirachaFlash. Also, link below the video. There's a little merch store button. You can hit that. That'd be cool. So that way I can feed the dogs. That's the first time I've ever shamelessly plugged out loud. No. I hate it. I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. That made me feel gross. I don't ever want to do that. That was awful.
I can't believe you would push your own store on your own stream while it's live.
Yeah, no, but I hate it though. Well, it started as a joke.
I get you. It feels weird.
Cross Mooner does ship to the UK. It started as a joke of hey, they have a merch store, and then like I have this design, me on Abigail, and I was like, I'll put it out there. But then like the next thing I knew, it was here. Shaper of Story says Ed doesn't need an overhead. His pressure is good enough as it is. He needs the shimmy, but he's capable. Yes, that is 100% true. I think Ed has one of the best shimmies in the game, and that hop kick that he has, that crush counters and clears lows, and is like ungrabbable, is excellent. Oh, thank you for the bits, Jazzy J. Thank you, my dude. I much appreciated.
I have a friend that plays Ed. I think his impression is Ed doesn't do a lot of damage. Like I think his punishes are not the best. But also that the main thing is that a lot of his combos just don't work for some reason. Like they buffed the range of Psycho Upper after Crouch Medium Punch, and it still whiffs. like Frame Advantage with Tyrant and Pax did a video where they're just showing the changes, and like the first time they try and do the max range Crouch Medium Punch into Upper, it whiffs. It's like, God, just make it work. Like just give people big buttons, whatever.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
There are times when I will see an Ed anti-air me with his up kicks. And then when he does his down kick, it doesn't connect. Like that whiffs, and then now I have the ability to crush counter him, and now he has to guess, and I feel really bad about it. Like,
and you can make argument like maybe make his Psycho Upper EX faster, but it's like you just press a button to get it, so there has to be some balance. Same thing with Urian. Urian can combo off of his DP, so it's kind of there are more ways to avoid it or circumvent it than others.
Right. I really do like the Neo Shadowloo characters that they've introduced with their own unique schemes. I really hope that we get more Neo Shadowloo characters in the future, because I would like to see a Neo Shadowloo character who uses the Ed and Falk scheme but is a grappler.
There was rumors. I don't know if there are any truth to them at this point, that the Gorilla would become a grappler, and he would act kind of like a Guilty Gear stylish character, like a one-button command grab, but balanced out to make it work. Either speed or recovery or damage, but like a stylish Tager-esque character,
right?
as like a grappler, that would be.
I would.
He's already a gorilla.
That's true.
There you have it.
That's true. Shaper Stories continues off the Ed thing of Ed being able to combo off of his DP. Urian gets to combo off of it with like forward heavy punch, which is why it's not. Because Crosby wanted to ask, why is Urian's EX headbutt as negative on block as 3-frame armor moves? And it's because he can combo off of it. He gets a lot of pressure off of it. And to be honest, like I think it's minus 16 or something like that, maybe minus 15.
It's not as negative as like I think Alex can't get a stand heavy kick punish off of it on block because it's one frame too fast. If that makes sense.
But if you make that EX headbutt whiff, the recovery on that thing is gigantic because as Abigail, if you can read that a Urian is going to EX headbutt, you can do stand medium punch, which is +5 on block. You can cancel into command run. But then instead of doing anything, back roll, and if Urian does EX headbutt, the EX headbutt will whiff, and you have enough time to do EX crouch heavy punch, and then go into heavy flip and combo it, which you could go into super and get massive damage. But the recovery on a whiffed EX headbutt is gigantic, man.
Crossmoon asked a good question. Why is Ken's mad minus? I think Ken's like a lot of his moves, like. Ken and Ed have the same problem that their actual punishes don't do a lot of damage, like meterless, but Ken will put you in the fucking corner.
Yeah. Oh, Ken has corner carry for days.
If you have Ken in the corner and he catches you trying to shimmy him with like crouch medium kick and EX Tatsu, you're at mid screen. If he runs up and does like a back throw, you're in the corner. It's like Ken also needs some help. I feel like his design is so strong, like so good at what he wants to do in this game. Like his goal, I feel like, is aided by his design very well. Kind of the same thing with Kareen, where Kareen is like, okay, you have a fast pixie character with a low confirm into damage, who like whip punish as well. I wouldn't actually nerf her kit. I would just maybe nerf her damage.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or maybe her plus frames. I don't know.
quick disclaimer for everyone out there. For everyone listening that has to fight a Ken, if Ken does wake up EXDP, cancel it into V-Trigger 1,
Yeah, I think also make it pseudo-safe.
There is a 7-frame gap right there. It is 7 frames.
Is it 7 frames? I thought it was -5.
It is. Listen, as someone who has memorized every 7-frame gap in the game, because that happens to be the 7-frame startup for back heavy punch on Abigail, and trust me, I know all of them, that motherfucker is -7.
I believe it.
If Ken does wake up EXDP, canceling at V-Trigger 1, that is -7. You punish that. And best believe every time it's back heavy punch into V-Trigger for me. That's my go-to bread and butter.
I feel like online Kens have DP'd me out of command grab attempts after that. I just assumed it was -5.
No, it is.
Does Ed need to be proved that much? That's a good question.
To be honest with you, I don't think Ed needs to be proved that much. I think there are consistency issues that can be changed, but as a character, he doesn't need necessarily buffs or nerfs. I feel like Ed is designed very well for Street Fighter V. For what the game is and how the game is supposed to perform, I feel like Ed is the perfect character for Street Fighter V.
He has some very good matchups too. Like I think he crushes Zangief like really badly.
Yes, Ed punishes Zangief. He punishes Birdie, or not Birdie. Abigail. Abigail is a nightmare matchup for Abigail.
I guess every year I did this recently as well for Alex for a season 4.5 wish list of just like what would it be, and I've over time trimmed down like the crazy stuff or the wild stuff I should say, in favor of more like just quality of life change. It's like, hey, Alex's EX like -20, 25 EX reversal shouldn't be the same input on block or like coming out of blockstone as his like V reversal.
Okay.
Especially if I'm trying to get one and not the other.
Yeah. That's fair.
Just like switches to punches. I know there's another character who's like that too. Or like, hey, maybe give him like a knockdown off of a light or something, without him to spend meter. Or like, why is his power bomb 6 frames? There's no reason.
Yeah, his I would give Alex a 5-frame power bomb because Abigail's SPD is 6 frames, but that motherfucker is like slow. He's meant to be slow. Give Alex a 5-frame command grab. I'm fine with that.
Plus, in V-Trigger, his command grabs are ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know, it's there's a weird inconsistency about how some characters are designed and not, or like.
Well, Ed is another one too for his V reversal, which his V reversal is like that, like not a teleport, but like a command roll behind the people. But his V reversal is 3 kicks, which for those that don't know, his 3 kicks also activate his fucking up kicks, which can be crush countered like a DP if they whiff or are blocked. So if some poor Ed decides that, hey, I'm gonna V reversal here, guesses wrong or gets the timing wrong, and they just up kick into the sky, they're already waiting for the next round or the next match because they're done. Like they're out of there. Oh man.
Or just like this was the one that still like sticks in my craw. I had a vent session on Twitter when this happened, where they finally gave Alex an anti-air button, like a dedicated anti-air button on his stand heavy punch. They added anti-air frames to it. I'm like, oh my god, they finally have done it. Problem is, it's his standing button, so he's easier to hit than a crouching opponent. Just bare bones, like straight up. It's a move that has 10 frames to start up naturally, which I already think is too much, and it's on the 9th frame, and it doesn't hit cross-ups.
Oof.
To which I say, what is the point of this move?
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Abigail's forward heavy punch is his best anti-air that doesn't hit a goddamn thing, and that's 9-frame startup. So
Abigail's like here's how bad it is for Alex. From the start, so he got nerfed really badly in season 2 for reasons that still don't make sense. Like, oh no, this like mid-tier character is too strong, make him the worst character in the game. In Third Strike, you can go look this up. I can even provide a video if you want. In Third Strike, the animations for his jabs and his medium punches are swapped from how they are in Street Fighter V.
Okay.
In Third Strike, his like jab is like it's like that little gut punch, and his medium punch is strong, was like the elbow swipe or like an equivalent. And so, and apparently that move was a decent anti-air in
yes, it was
in Third Strike.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to Street Fighter V, and now they've swapped it. So now his medium punch is like that big like kidney punch move, and his jab is like this little like elbow swipe. And it was a good anti-air jab. And you could get like a dash under, mix up off of it and stuff. And people are like, oh, these. It never makes sense to me why people hated those jabs because of how powerful jump-ins were in Street Fighter V.
Yeah, well, like for me, it stop jumping. Stop jumping. Stop jumping.
Yeah,
change up your jump in timing. Do literally anything else. I don't know.
And so when they just universally nerfed most of, if not all of the anti-air jab, I think the Kali still had one for a bit.
Yeah,
Bison's
Abigail
crouching
still
leg
has
punch
one,
was untouched almost.
Abigail has a goddamn fly swatter attached to his body. That's why he still has one.
And that makes sense. Or same thing with like Zangief. Zangief still has one, but it's like Zangief is chopping the air. It should
Yeah. Really quick, Shaper stories throughout the whose character is worse discussion. I'm gonna say this right now. I think Abigail's the best character in the game. I think he's top one. The other day, someone asked me, what do I do when Abigail just isn't working? Do I have a backup character? Absolutely not. Abigail is my number one character. I will use other characters in friendly matches, but if there's a point where Abigail isn't working, it's not that Abigail isn't working, it's that I'm not working. I am not doing what I have to do. I am not using his tools in the best opportunities that I can. Because there's motherfuckers like Itazan that are using his tools and shit like that. Like, I don't have backup characters because I don't need a backup character. I have my character. I have to do that shit. And that's what everyone should fucking do. Know the ins and outs of your character. You shouldn't go, this character's not working for me, time to switch. You are not doing enough with your fucking character because there are people way better than you using the same character that are doing better than you because they're not giving up and they're not trying to do things that are outside of their control. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sriracha, you can just add me next time.
Look,
I had a similar bout of that feeling lately. The opposite of it. I'll just finish by saying this: in alternate universe, Alex's medium punch is still that elbow swipe, and it's an anti-air, and he's probably not top tier, but he's like he has an anti-air. But
yeah, listen, he has an anti-air, and that crouching shoulder is also a decent anti-air. Like so,
it is not. Or it's great if you don't mind trading a lot.
Look, sometimes you gotta take a trade. Listen, you're a grappler. Sometimes you have to take the trade. It is what it is.
I will say this: it took me a while to realize that Alex's biggest problem is that he has the tools to be a mid-range space control character or an aggressive grappler, but they haven't made him good at either. But that said, his pokes keep people at a range that when they jump, you're more likely to be able to react in time with a slower anti-air like Crouching Heavy Punch. I wish it was better. Plus, also, Crouching Heavy Punch can have randomized effects. Did it hit both times? And if so, how did the opponent react? Did they crumple to the ground, which is very rare but can happen? Or did they pop up? You can get DP, you can get his heavy air grab kick. Sometimes it whiffs, though, 'cause what the fuck? I don't know. Did he get one hit and did they pop to the ground because it was like the second hit of the two, or was it the first one? If it's the first one, you can sometimes get the light or medium, which gives you better Oki. It's a lot of times it's trades or you get hit out of it because it's like 11 fucking frames. It's really bad. But to answer the question of who is bad, I actually thought about this recently. Because I put it in terms of how a Tekken player was doing it, which is, can this character win a tournament? Or I should start by saying there is a line of thought that in the West, we are more concerned with a character's potential. Like, oh, this character is like Lucia comes out. And it's like, oh, this character's got all these tools and all this stuff. This character is top tier. And Lucia could probably still win some tournaments, but initially, that was the fixation, or that's what Western players are more fixated with. Like, on paper, what does this character have? Mm-hmm. And in Japan, and then perhaps Korea as well, when it comes to Tekken, it's more about who has been winning that determines top tier.
Yeah.
Which has its own flaws, but I feel like is also kind of like, well, you have the results right there. So in that sense, you could see the argument of like, well, this character to us is really good, but they rate them higher or lower. But one thing I saw a Tekken player do was go, do you think this character can win a tournament by themselves? And that made me think about it, or think about like how to view a character like Bison. I think a Bison could win a big tournament by himself, like without a secondary. And then you have characters that like could win with a secondary. Like I think a Zangief player, like Mike, I think Mike could win a tournament, but he probably wants to switch to Akuma or Karin for certain matchups, like Ed, like Fong, like Manat, like Falk. Because there are some matchups that you could run into that just end your trip. You have some characters that you can maybe win with only as a secondary. I'll answer your question just a second, Crossmoon. Where like Chun-Li, I think Chun-Li could probably win with a secondary or by themselves, but it's more subjective.
Yeah,
And then you have
I think Terrence could win with Chun-Li. I think Terrence could win.
Was exactly right. I was like,
yeah,
but Terrence exists, so
I'm seeing that pull in my mind right now. I mean, look, we'll find out if Zangief could win a tournament by himself tomorrow because Kichipamu was in top 8.
That is true
for the what is it, the Players Professional League or something like that, or Players Personal League. It's a very strange title.
There's a Laura as well.
Yes, and there's a Laura who's in winners. Kichipamu is unfortunately in losers, but the Laura is in winners against Mago, which September Mago showed up. So
I saw that tweet too. And then then there's characters like you can't win with a tournament, or you could only like maybe not even as a secondary. And then there's a group of what I called like who knows, which is I think Sakura could actually surprise people. I feel like Sakura is a lot better than people think.
I think Sakura is very good.
I think a Ken could win the tournament.
I don't want that to happen. It could happen. Could happen. I think Abigail could win a tournament by himself.
I think Abigail could.
I think next year when I win Combo Breaker, I think that'll cement it. Or maybe when I show up at CEO and take the whole damn thing, riding down the CEO ramp in my Power Wheels car.
Well, I'll say this before I get to Crossmoon's question.
Okay.
About my personal top 5, which is that the biggest change I've made in my playstyle as of late that I think has helped me the most is taking the time to actually go, here's this character, I hate this character, what is the frame data? What is the scenarios in which certain buttons beat theirs? What are, like, can I use certain anti-airs against this character?
Right.
Stuff like that.
I think the addition of train with this character in training mode right now after a ranked or casual match is the best addition.
It's really good.
That they I
agree. Even though I've mostly given up on ranked entirely, which is why I'm still like a gold player. Even though I've beaten really good players, but whatever.
That's all right. Look, we're not gonna rank check you around here. That shit don't matter. I made top 8 at Michigan Masters as a gold player. That's fine.
No, but so like if you're struggling with like a character you think is bad, and you're like maybe it's the character, it might be like maybe you should switch. But if you really want to do the work, get FAT out, the frame assistant tool. Oh, nice.
Hey, thank you, Little Pants. Much appreciated.
Like so I did this with a friend where he beat me like 10-0 with Colleen. And I'm like, this matchup is bullshit. That stand heavy punch is bullshit. I can't punish it. It crush counters. If I try and pressure her with normals afterwards, I get count. This is all bullshit. Fuck this game. Had a free day, pulled out FAT, and went, here's the frame data for every move on block. At what point can I challenge? At what point should I not press anything afterwards, or just be aware that they're plus? What can I punish and with what? And the next time I played them, I did a lot better, to the point where I lost to my friend Hai, who plays Colleen, at a monthly, and like I hated it because I labbed it out already. Started a lab out like, hey, what if I start testing them with more lows, because you have to decide is a mid or a low counter they have to do.
Right.
To the point where they couldn't decide, so I would just dash up command grab them. And I was actually barely able to beat them the next week at a different tournament.
That's what I found with like when you're playing Colleen, is they're gonna try to parry you and frazzle you, but if you can overload their circuits before they can like get you on edge with their parries, 100% you are living the dream. Hey, thank you for the bits, Newman, much appreciated. Thank you.
The only downside to this, and I talked about this earlier in the week. If you saw that whole discussion with me, St. Cola, and Edsy, and No Good Citizen, is at a certain point I start to go, there's like a whole character where most of the time the best punish I get is like a stand medium punch into a medium chop without Spain meter, and that's it. And you're like, oh, this character's really bad.
Hey, well, look, sometimes you just gotta chip away.
I know. And trust me, nothing makes me happier than overcoming those bad matchups. Or a way to look at it is like, hey, I'm not playing a bad character. I'm playing a Dark Souls pro tag, and you're the fucking monster.
Look, that's a solid.
So of course you're gonna beat me up, but I will beat you. And
you just gotta chip away.
Wear your body for armor or a weapon.
It's like showing up to Thanksgiving dinner, and you're like, God damn, I fucking that food's right there. And then you reach for like some of the macaroni, and you get your fucking hand slapped. And you just got to go over, and you just got to dig into like the veggie tray for right now. Have a little bit of crackers, and then like you wait a little bit, and eventually you get the full turkey, and that's the fucking dream. Like that's how you got to play it.
Yeah, I mentioned this super early in the podcast, but like I used to hate fighting camis because I thought this character's so bullshit. I hate it. Now if I get matched up with a cami and bracket, I'm relieved. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna crush this person. This person doesn't know the tears of blood. I mean, it's part of Alex's character design. He's got the little like bloody tears. But anyway, so I'm gonna finally answer Crossmoon's question. Who's my top five?
Unfortunately, that might have to be the last question because we're running a little long.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
No problem. So yeah, we'll hit Crossmoon's question, then we'll get you out of here. We'll get you out the door so you can go play Tekken.
Thank you. The top five for me, it's kind of that's almost like an arbitrary question because it's like who do I fit in after Rashid, Akuma, Kyrene?
Mm-hmm.
And by that I could say, I think it's Rashid is the best character in the game. I'm kind of borrowing Event Hub's podcast reasoning for this, which is he gets to do a lot of the bullshit everyone else does, but he also has the ability to just like, hey, I'm just going to EX dive kick or EX kick out of the corner, and that's it.
Yeah. I don't want to be in the corner anymore. And so
yeah. Which as an Alex player, I sympathize of just going like, I'm just gonna flying cross chop out of the corner. Like that's it. Oh, you're a Colleen player in V Trigger too. I guess I have to respect that.
Yeah.
She can just glide up and punch me. I think also like that he's not as explodable as Akuma helps.
Mm.
I think Kyrene is. I would almost put Kyrene ahead of Akuma, just because I feel like
she can convert damage better than Akuma can.
I feel like she's super cheap right now. And then Akuma, who does have other people than Tokido having success with him, but I still feel like it's harder to convert it at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck that character. I hate it.
He's the ultimate glass cannon.
After those two, I would say Ibuki, and I would say Bison.
Okay,
are the two. I feel like Ibuki.
Yeah,
Ibuki has pressure for days if she has meter, and if you put time to learning her V Trigger 2 mix-ups, it can be really difficult. On the other hand, when I fully block a V Trigger 2 mix-up by Ibuki, I feel like I'm God.
Yeah.
I wish her overhead was not comboable and -2 on block.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you the same line that Yango told me about when I was complaining about Ibuki's V-Trigger, or her overhead. It has 28 frames of startup. If you can't react in 28 frames, don't be playing fighting games.
It's not that I'm expecting the overhead, I'm expecting a throw.
Yeah.
And it's throw invincible, because she's technically airborne.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Just don't late tech.
I would put Birdie under Bison just because I feel like Bison has shown more competitively. I'm kind of leaning into like the Japanese theory of like, well, who is winning tournaments?
Right.
That said, is Fudo in top 8 for tomorrow?
No, he got eliminated. NL eliminated him with Akuma.
I feel like Problem X and I feel like Hot Dog and other players have shown that Bison is such a dumb character in this game.
Well, Bison and V-Trigger 1 is the only character that I will continuously delay rise to like kind of throw off their shitty teleport setups and kind of see what they're doing. But other than that, the other thing I was going to throw out is Ibuki V-Trigger 2 setups. Like any Ibuki that does like the kunai, and if you block it, or the shuriken and then you block it and then they go into EXDP, that I like start licking my lips. Sometimes I get so excited I drop my punish because I'm so excited about the punish on it.
Alex, he can command grab people who are in like a crush countered state. So if I do that, I just do lariat and then do heavy command grab. Because during the command grab animation, I can't be hit. So same thing with Abigail. You could probably just do a...
Abigail's punish is so juicy. That's why I get so excited about it. So I'm gonna lay this out for everyone right now, and I'll stream it later. I'll put a video up later. So Abigail can block the shuriken and then block the EXDP. After the blocks EXDP, you can do standing medium punch, cancel the stand medium punch into parry. That will time it so that way when the shuriken will hit Abigail, he will parry the shuriken, hit Ibuki. So right. From there, you can go into forward heavy punch, into EX punches, into V-Trigger 2, or you can go crouching heavy punch, into Abby medium punches, V-Trigger 2, into super. It feels so good, you have no idea. I fully tumescent when that happens. As a quick aside, because I know we're pushing it right now, I have actually considered going back to V-Trigger 2. I actually switched back to V-Trigger 1 just because Alex can without a character having to be standing or crouching, he can confirm a crouch medium punch, his little like serving platter hand poke into V-Trigger cancel, get one hit of crouch heavy punch, do lariat, pop them up, which is a side switch too, which is very valuable, into light knee for Oki, like off of a poke. It's really nice. But against Akuma, I kind of want to switch back to V-Trigger 2 because here's what I can do. I posted that video a while back where I was just like thinking emoji, where it's block the first 3 hits of his EXDP where he's kind of like rotating, activate V-Trigger, block the next 3 hits, jump up with him as I come down, deep counter hit jumping heavy punch or heavy kick or heavy punch, whatever, it's the same damage. Lariat, medium punch, light elbow into DDT is 400 damage off of Akuma. Oh, dang. Thank you for the sub-cycle sales. I'm not going to ask about Axum. We're talking about Punishers and we're about to finish the show, but I appreciate you subscribing.
We'll get that in the Gaiden episode. But
yes.
Fuck. So with the idea being, if I do that to an Akuma once, they will not want to DP the rest of that game. I have locked EXDP for a character with 900 health, 900 stun. That's the thought process there. So I don't know if I'll commit to that, just because V-Trigger 1 is so more useful in a lot of situations, but it's something to think about.
Right.
Explore your buttons, even the bad ones, because you never know. You
never know when they might come in handy. Well, with that being said, this has been Some Random, episode 13. This has been Overhaul. Overhaul, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm so lucky I was here for the 13th. You can find me at Overhaul89. No, it's not a My Hero Academia reference. Most of you will get that in a month. I do have a Twitch. It's Overhaul180. Should I explain that, by the way?
Sure.
Like why it's that?
Yeah.
So it's like 5% of My Hero Academia reference, but not really. A third of it is that's the name of Alex's V skill, where he gets a free counter hit, and he I'm all warmed up.
Okay.
But also because when I picked up Street Fighter V competitively, I moved to Minnesota. I wasn't just. It's one of those things where like I have suffered, but not as much as others, so I don't want to like play up my like sad story or anything. But I was just in a not a great spot in my life, and I felt bad. And I was like, I want to change this. I want to overhaul myself. So those combinations of things kind of inspired me to do that. So that's also why the Twitch is Overhaul 180. But
I feel you. Listen, and then let me tell you, as corny as that is, I really like it. But I'm gonna drop another real piece of advice right now. I don't give a shit how bad your suffering is compared to someone else. We all we all go through things differently.
I know it's valid, but I still, it's just one of those things.
We all go through things that are different, and shit that sucks and hurts for you might not suck and hurt for another person, but what they go through doesn't affect you as much. So, like, if you're feeling hurt, fucking, it's okay to feel hurt and upset. Don't ever fucking feel like you can't hide your very valid feelings. Because we all process shit differently. But yes, anyway, sorry. Overhaul 180 on Twitch, Overhaul 89 on Twitter, and you also have a podcast called Pressing Heavy Buttons.
Currently, it's the pinned tweet on my account. Yes, it's to a YouTube channel. We're only 2 episodes deep. It's kind of just just casual. It's just kind of like whatever we want to talk about. It's mainly FGC focused, and I try to find ways to make it FGC focused. The last episode was about football and like what periods of a team can mean to you and like your life and stuff like that. But that's a whole other thing. We were supposed to do an episode with St. Cole with Ryan, but I had to cancel due to issues on my end. About SFL, which we also didn't get to talk about. But
yeah, well, look, episode two with Overhaul, we'll hit everything.
Maybe. I'll just finish by saying the SFL this season looks really good. I'm really happy.
Okay.
Also, please go Team Marine, which is
go Team Marine.
A former Laura player with Mojo, who is like her son, who is also from Minnesota, and Tommy Two Steps, who she endorsed to get in. So, go Team Spirit, go Team Marine.
Absolutely. All right, well, that being said, this has been Some Random. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, HomeDepot.com, McDonald's.com, and BurgerKing.com at SrirachaFlash. It has been a wonderful pleasure talking to every single one of you tonight. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you for stopping by. We will see you guys later on, and y'all have yourselves a good night. Bye.
No, thanks for having me, man. Peace.
Absolutely.